Footies, and welcome back to Fut in Review episode 727, where your red picks determine your mood, your controller takes emotional damage, and this week, fantasy meets full-blown horror. The latest fantasy players promotion has landed, and it's got more plot twists than Lord of the Rings, and more jump scares than The Conjuring. 1 minute your winger is a mild-mannered mortal, the next he's leveling up like he's just found a secret at Hogwarts. But let's be honest, for every hero's journey, there's also the feeling when your fantasy upgrade just doesn't hit. And suddenly it's less epic saga, more possession seen from The Exorcist. Your club balance starts spinning, your weekend league dreams start floating, and you're questioning every life decision that led to that SBC. To help us separate myth from monster, we've got a very, very special guest, or host if you want to say that. It's Coach John. Dutch, cool, cerebral, the kind of football mind that builds tactics like a chess grandmaster and delivers analysis smoother than total football. While the rest of us are reacting like it's Nightmare on Elm Street after losing a 90th minute equaliser, he's calmly explaining the structural imbalance in your midfield press. John, how you doing, my friend?
After this intro, I'm quite alright, mate. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me back on the show.
Yeah, it's great to have you back on your own show, mate. But because we're not only going to talk what separates, we're going to talk about Fut FC cards, we're going to talk about not just mechanics, but mentality. We're diving into Olympic mindset, the composure, resilience, and marginal gains you see every 4 years at the Olympic Games. How do you stay ice cold under pressure? How do you bounce back after a brutal loss? How do you treat weekend league like a final without turning your living room into a psychological thriller? Fantasy upgrades, horror losses, tactical clarity, Olympic mentality. Lock in, stay composed, and whatever you do, don't panic sell, because this is Fut in Review. John, it's great to be doing a show with you again. It feels like forever, my friend.
It's not been that long. It has been 8 weeks since I've been able to use the studio properly, so there's that. But I've done shows just from different locations than this one, and it's good to have like a proper seat with a proper soundproof studio with a proper microphone and proper lighting. That helps a lot as well.
Yeah,
I remember the last time we did a show, I had reflections behind me. There was actually a deer walking in the forest, which made for a good picture, but it isn't exactly nice to look at when you see all kinds of reflections in deer eyes and stuff. Anyways, this is much better. Almost done with the rebuild. Mm-hmm. I think it's time for a video tour of this of the studio soon.
Definitely.
But give me 1 more week and everything should be ready for that. But it's good to be back. But it's been good to be back in this seat at least.
Yeah, but you wanted to, I must admit, I've jumped into the hosting seat tonight because we are going to talk about, in the second half, mentality, which is absolutely up there with your forte. And it's going to be super interesting. But as always, we'll split the show into 2 halves and have a 5-minute sort of halftime break where we're going to do our top 5. And John, it's going to be a weird one because normally there's another guest on with us tonight, but you are going to take all the hate from this one, and it's all about national teams. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. I was going to do club teams, but I thought I won't do Feyenoord, I won't do Ajax, I won't stitch you up, I promise you in that one. So this is going to be really super interesting as we get there. But as always, we'll start our first half, and I think the referee has his whistle to his lips. Perfect. We are going to talk about Fantasy FC Team 2. And John, if I was to give you 250,000 coins or even do an SBC, is there a particular player that you would pick tonight?
Well, particular player, if I can do an SBC, of course. Have you heard that Raheem the Dream has joined the Rotterdam side of Feyenoord, man? Of course you've heard.
I seen that. I was super surprised. I'm sure you were as well.
Everyone was. So that was a surprise transfer. I think one of the biggest names ever to come to the club, if you don't count Cruyff and Gullit, of course. But that's like during my lifetime, perhaps even. Mm-hmm. I think this is probably the biggest name, right? Wasn't so long ago he was worth as much as Neymar on the transfer market. So It's surprising. Not sure he's going to have much of an impact, but he definitely has an impact on the fans so far. So I guess that's good.
Yeah. I mean, was his debut a fantasy or was it a horror show?
It was dead in the middle. We were playing Telstar and they were 17th in the league. He was brought in and he could play about 30 minutes. He's not fit yet, right? Not match fit. And that showed, though. He hasn't got the explosivity, though. So he looks good in a finer shirt, I'd say. But yeah, we were the fans were very sarcastic. So every time he touched the ball, 50,000 plus people went nuts, like screaming and applauding. Even when he cut the ball, the first 2 touches he did is just playing the ball back to the goalkeeper, right, or to the midfielders. And people went nuts. And afterwards, Reem was saying, "Well, thank you so much for the fans. This was a better welcome that I could have dreamt of." And I was like, "Does he know we were being sarcastic here about it?" But that's why it's Raheem the Dream, and he is like, those Kinder eggs, those chocolate eggs which you break open and they have like a little toy inside.
Yeah,
I think Sterling is our Kinder egg. Like, it's nice to get it. The chocolate's all right, probably, right? But you don't know what you'll get. This could be like, maybe we should just leave this present closed. Like, keep him in a bench sometimes, let him train, put him in. On the other side, it could be that he scores a hat trick against Ajax in 2 weeks and he's top fit. So that's just a way. But it is fun, mate. Getting one of those big names in your club.
No, definitely. I hope it goes well for you. I really do. I hope it goes well for you. And I think
I'm afraid it goes well and he just goes away at the end of the season to play in the Premier League again for free. But hey.
He does seem like a really decent guy, though, doesn't he? You know what I mean? Anytime you hear him in an interview or that, he seems pretty humble, very decent. I'm sure he'll get on great with it, fanatical fans at Feyenoord, won't he?
Normally, I'd say yes, actually. And of course, he's a big fan of Van Persie. And Van Persie's on fire at Feyenoord currently. So I think Sterling also might have saved Van Persie's career as a manager for now. So it could be good. But going back to Fut, that's a pretty nice card, though. 4-star, 4-star. Fast, pretty good shooting. And of course, he looks amazing in the kit. The dynamic picture is great. I know we're going to talk Olympics, but he's probably going to get a spot on his thumbnail somewhere.
So the question, Johnny, you always go is, you'll say, I've only got 7,000 coins. I can't afford them. Are you going to do them?
Yes, of course. Yeah. And that's the advantage of him being in SBC, right?
Yeah,
and probably it's just 4 challenges as well. It shouldn't be too hard to do. So, yeah, I think it's nice though. I think like a rapid finesse shot. He's got 2 playstyle pluses. I think everything on that card's all right. It's not, honestly, I've got Henry, the icon on the left winger. Not the last week Henry, like the proper Henry one. So it would be unfair for me to say he'd replace Henry for 130,000. Nevertheless, it's a cool card.
I mean, just if people who are listening think, yeah, might do the SBC. So for him to get any upgrades, he needs 6 points and more in 4 games, 10 club goals, 1 goal or assist, and 6 attacking contributions. And the club wins the domestic league or main cup. Now,
yeah, so that will be an issue because we're only playing the domestic league still. So and we play Twente and Ajax, which are good teams, right? But we also play a couple of local clubs. So those goals and stuff shouldn't be a problem. The only thing is he's not fit, so I don't know if he's able to contribute much yet.
He may get an assist, John. I mean, he is that type of player. Or he may get a goal. You never know. So what are you thinking? 3 out of those potential 6 upgrades or 5 upgrades here? You think you'll get the 6 points, won't you?
6 points, yeah, definitely. 10 goals, definitely. I think assists or goals should be manageable somewhere, right? If they get a penalty, they should at least allow to score one, I think. So.
You'll know how many FC fans are in the stadium when he steps up there and shouts his
exactly,
name.
yeah.
Yeah. Because that is the thing about this promo, isn't it? You really need to look at the clubs and where they are in the league, because, look at a player there, Adama Traore, West Ham, they could struggle a little bit in terms of that. He's 465,000 coins, looks exceptionally fast as well. And
the thing is, though, Chris, with this promo, I think you look at players who aren't worth much.
Mm-hmm.
You look at how the program is for these players, and you look if you have maybe an underdog player that can grow into an upgraded version.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you have an 89 rated card, Adama Traore, for example. He's now worth 500, 450k, something like that, like you said. I think that's already a little bit high of a price for me to invest in these live cards.
Right, okay.
I think you look, for me, that's people probably are richer people in the game than I am. But for example, I was just thinking about most players are quite expensive, honestly, as well. I'm looking at it, but Ganduzi, for example, 140k as we are recording currently, 90 rated CDM, looks pretty good, honestly, and they could get a lot of upgrades still. They're not like in the best shape of their life, but decent, right? Buy him for 140, give it a couple of weeks. He could be a player that's worth like 400k if he gets all the upgrades.
Yeah.
That's how I look at this promo, honestly. We can mention, I don't know, the Gula cards or the Reinders card, but of course they're good. And of course they can only get better and they'll most likely get an upgrade, but I wouldn't spend them coins on it, if I'm honest.
So John, if you had the coins, where would you set your limit then? Would it be 100,000 coins or would it be...
somewhere about 250. Like you said, that range maximum. Although, like on normal promos, I don't actually buy cards at all because I think it's just too volatile.
Yeah.
On these promos, I think these are the promos you could buy a card in, not to get rich of, but to get longevity out of the card itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think then 250 feels like a reasonable price to go in. But these objective players, I think Nunes is an objective player as well. These objective players are pretty awesome, honestly, as well. So why not try it, right?
If I was to ask you, and people are going to accuse us of being exceptionally Dutch, you've got Van den Berg, if I've said that properly.
Very proper. At least I don't have to worry about my Scottish accent anymore now.
Yeah, so you got the Van den Berg card, plays for Brentford, 88 rated centre-back. Okay. He is 19,000 coins. Brentford, first of all, I think if the games start tomorrow, play Burnley, which is away from home, but is a hard game. Burnley are not potentially great. Then they go to have Bournemouth, then West Ham, and then Wolves. So potentially they could get 6 goals. I mean, is that a card that would potentially interest you there? He's got block plus, ping pass, long ball, decent jockey, intercept, anticipate, slide tackle, and aerial fortress. I mean,
this was my Joker card on the list actually, because why is he so cheap? It's like an upgradable Premier League center defender.
Yes,
chance for 2 extra playstyles, and he's got every defensive playstyles already. Good stats. It's already a decent card. Like 90 defensive awareness, 95 heading, you name it. I think it's almost a must buy for 20k.
I suppose the only thing is, I'll correct myself actually on the tracker, is Burnley away, Bournemouth away, Wolves at home, which you'd expect them to get 3 points, and then away to Leeds. So they have got 3 away games in that whole sort of thing, and they need 1 clean sheet as well with him being a defender. So, but for 19,000 coins, John, as you say, it's probably worth a bit of a gamble.
Even if he doesn't get any upgrades, 19,000 coins for a player like this is pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. I mean, is there any players in there that you're looking at going, I would take a chance on him or her even? You know, I mean, I'm just trying to think if there's anybody in particular you think.
No, honestly, not really. The problem with this promo is, like, if I'm going to be a bit critical, I like the fact you can buy a player low and it will grow into something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use secondary teams or anything like that. I don't use Evos. If I get a player in my team, that player, and I think Neil said that before as well, just needs to be better than anything in the team.
Yes.
Right? One of the cards I really like, for example, is Kalulu, but he's also like 600,000, 500,000. He's going to end up there as well. And, he's not much better than Maldini. Or is he better than Maldini? I doubt it, honestly. Maybe with the upgrades he might be. Well, again, Chris, here's my thing. That's why I don't like the swaps. We spoke about this before. This is why I don't like planning ahead that much. I like playing now. I'm a gameplay guy.
Mm-hmm.
I get a card and I need to use that card. Unless I get one of those 2 million plus cards in this team, none of them will make the team. So, and getting one of them to make sure I get an upgrade and then be able to use them. While then, by the time they get upgraded, it might be team of the season already. For me, it doesn't feel great. Packing one, perfect. Preferably untradeable even. Investing or buying someone, nah, not really. Doubt it.
Just one card that I would maybe mark people's card for, and is Tabitha Chawinga. She looks a particularly great card. Always one I've enjoyed using. She plays for Olympic Lyon, female player.
They'll definitely get an upgrade though.
Yeah, I mean, I've just looked at their recent games. So the last one they played was, I think it was, they won 6-2. They've won 4-0. They've also beaten PSG. She has 8 matches so far and has scored 9 goals. So that's maybe a card worth looking at. There's a lot there to really like about that. Playstyle, she's got rapid plus, low driven plus, finesse shot, silver, ping pass, whip pass, technical, first touch, quick step, and enforcer as well. A really good fun card that I think. Left wing, left midfield, and striker. I think she's from Tanzania. Malawi. Apologies from Malawi. So maybe a difficulty with getting chemistry, but if you're looking for a fun card there, I think that's probably one that you would certainly could consider.
Really good chance for upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
I think already a really good card.
Yep.
I wish she had game changer on it, but it's probably going to be with the upgrades, I suppose, right?
Mm-hmm.
100,000 coins, 90,000, something like that. Perfectly priced. You can't do wrong getting this card, and they'll probably get some upgrades as well. Thing is, though, left winger. Sterling is a left winger. Henry is a left winger. There's no way for me to actually put it in. So I'm not getting her, but she's definitely a good shout to keep in your team, getting your team. I was talking this week to some players that started Fut like late or just started or just after Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool that if you start the game around that time or start it now, right? You can just pick this this game up now, and within a week you have a really cool team.
No, of course, yeah. I mean, I
that
think
is pretty cool, right?
It's very cool, and I think I'm still using gold Virgil van Dijk in my centre as a centre back in my main team. Yeah, I'm still playing swaps and that. So you're right. There is a lot of good cards there. There's a lot of cards you can use, a lot of fun cards you can use. That's one thing I think swaps has been good, is it's forced you to potentially use cards you wouldn't normally have in your club that you'd maybe just. And I know you're laughing there. I'm not going to have a dig at you about the swaps, mate. We've done that to death. But there is some cards out there that you can use them as, let's be honest, most of them have a very settled team if we're doing rivals and weekend league and that. But it's actually, this has made you to have a bit of fun time. But John, so if you are that player who's got mega coins, you've got as many coins as you can shake a stick at, which player are you taking from Team 2 before we quickly jump onto Heroes?
Probably Reinders, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think he looks absolutely terrific. I love the player in real life as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I think Reinders is a very, I don't know if you can say underrated for a player from Manchester City, right? But he could be one of those players that 1 year of people haven't gotten to know, or one good world championship in front of him. He could be like star. He's got every time I've seen him play, well, at least 6 times live now.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I see him play live, he stands out, but never stands out like with the silky moves. But his first start's always good. He's perfectly on control. He's like Frankie de Jong. I've seen him and Frankie de Jong play together on the Dutch squad often now.
Mm-hmm.
These two they make it look so easy. And I think he just lacks a little bit of goals currently to stand out in the Premier League. But yeah, what a player and what a card this is. I think I really like this card. Yeah, if I could spend the money, I would be on this card.
And as we quickly move into injury time here in the first half, would you take Reinders or Sneijder? Talking about heroes.
Yeah, well, I think I would probably pick Sneijder because that's a really cool card and a little bit better on chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But those both of these cards are really nice.
I mean, we'll quickly move to heroes because I think it's easy to miss them out. There is, Wesley Sneijder's 4.3 million, Marquez 2.3, and then I'm looking at the rest of them. There's nothing really super super expensive in there. Is there a Kyo? Sorry, at 2.5 million according to this. Is there any card in there, John? You think if I had the coins, or actually that's very cheap when I look at it. Is there MD in there? Zamorano at 253 or?
Heroes are a little bit all over the place. Like, take Cahill, for example, 14K, 15K.
Mm-hmm.
There honestly isn't much wrong with that card. The problem is there are just way better cards, especially with Evos going around. Nakata, 18,000 coins. How cool is he?
Mm-hmm. Super cool. Do you know what I mean? Super
He
cool.
deserves a card that stands out and not be 18K. But then I look at Aymar and I'm like, yeah, he's cool, but I would never pay 700,000 for a card like that. So I think, let's say you start, like if I would restart on a different account now, I think if I have Cahill on top and Nakata behind it, Sung, by the way, left midfield looks really cool. You could build like even for $1 million or 1.5 million, you can have an awesome looking team. And don't underestimate the Sasic card, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it looks really cool as well. And it's just a shame that these cards, you won't ever see them, I'm afraid. It's true though. Where would you face them?
I get that. But I mean,
it's not like we have a Wicked League where you need to use a minimum of 3 icons or heroes or something like that.
Yeah, no, I understand that, John. And you say the Nakata card and, go to the tracker, 6 points or more, 10 club goals. So he could get a +1 or a +1 overall, face that to 99. It could easily be a 90 rated card very quickly for
exactly.
For that price. And I mean, very quickly, John, do you think heroes have had their time or are still relevant in game, or should we just go have the players and the icons and drop heroes?
No, keep the heroes in. I quite like it, having them in there, right? Mm-hmm. They don't need all to be icons. I think it's just weird. What's the difference between an icon and a hero? Their age? Well, not really, right? Because Hanley ain't much older than Sneijder. So, why is Sneijder an icon? I have no idea. So there's you want Champions Leagues and so there's no difference between an icon and a hero for me, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we see Nakata as a hero, but I think at Roma he would be seen as an icon. So
yeah,
and we've seen people bouncing around between being an icon and a hero as well. Keep the heroes in; it's fine. The only thing is, mate, what I would love to have that they would be a little bit extra special. So I'd like less versions of heroes. And
yes.
I sometimes long the days where you have a base icon and a base hero. You have like a prime icon and a prime hero, for example. And you have like the team of the year hero and a team of the year. Like 3 versions of them always. it's hard to keep up because if I say I have Henry on top, you have to, which version? And you look it up. It's like, let me check again because I don't actually know anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's more of my issue with how these cards are used. They lost their speciality or the specialness, if I should properly pronounce it, with having so much different versions.
Yeah. No, I understand that. But anyway, John, the referee has signalled for the end of the first half. And we move now to our halftime entertainment, where I'm going to give you, as always, our top 5, and you have to rank them where you see them. So are you ready for this, John?
Yes, I can just switch between them. I got the rules right.
Yep, you've got this. So you can choose. So I am going to give you, because this is a World Cup year, and it's unfair to give you players. So what I've decided is I want you to choose where these iconic international strips rank.
Iconic international strips?
Yes.
Okay.
So we are going to go, first of all, we are going to go big for the first one, John. We're not making
Scotland.
this easy. No, not at all. That would be not, well, I don't even know if that's number 1 for me. This one is light blue, white stripes of Argentina. Where would you rank that as iconic? 5th for you, John.
Yeah, just 5th minutes.
Okay, I am sorry to all our Argentinian listeners out there.
Yeah, I'll do apologize. No. We actually have a decent audience, and
well, we've just ruined that now. We put them number 5.
Honestly, I get a lot of hate being Dutch with the Messi last World Cup thingy. So whenever I talk about Argentina, I get a lot of messages saying Messi and Van Gaal and stuff. So this is my diss back to them.
Okay, so we are now going to move to the blue of Italy. Where would you rank that as iconic strips? Number 2, John. You've went big there. When you think of that, you think of Toto Scalacci, don't you? You know, Italian 90.
I got one of the kids here in my office, mate. So
Of course you have. Okay, so this one is the white and blue shorts of England. A famous strip.
This is hard because I don't want to lose all our listeners. Neatly in the middle at 3.
Number 3. Now, you do remember there is always a sting in the tail here.
Aye.
So, number 5 is gone. Number 2 is gone. Number 3 is gone. So, it's 4 and 1.
Yes.
So, one of the for me, the most iconic strip out there is the yellow of Brazil. Where do you place that?
Number 4.
Really, John? Number 4 of iconic strips in the world. Thinking of Pele, R9, you're putting that number 4. Can I just say that, listeners? It's John that's putting these numbers in. So that leaves you a number 1. So I am going with the orange of the Netherlands.
Yes, number 1. I'm so glad you didn't switch that around for Belgium or something. But.
No. I went with the iconic strips, and to be fair to listeners, did I tell you, John, what the list that were going to come out here?
No. And to be fair to you, I have 3 kits here next to me on the wall. One is from the 1988 Dutch side, right?
Yep.
And the other one is indeed from Italy. So being Netherlands 1 and Italy 2nd is like, well, I've done right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have a big shirt behind you from Pele, so
yeah. So I mean, as I say, Scottish
you're probably
people,
a little bit insulted by this.
I am. I'm extremely insulted now. So I'm going to read out the list, John, for our listeners, and so in number 5 is Argentina. Number 4 is Brazil. So apologies to all our South American listeners. I do apologise. England is number 3. Italy is number 2, and for John, surprise, surprise, the most iconic international strip out there is the orange of the Netherlands.
It is pretty iconic, though.
It is.
I mean,
when
it's not always done well, but not many teams wear orange, right?
No, exactly. And I apologise to our French listeners because I did choose a blue, and it was Italy. For me, it's just you think.
To be fair, if you picked France, it'd probably be in the place Italy is now as well, because I quite like the red socks underneath the dark blue. So.
No, it's a smart kit, to be fair. And I look forward to the World Cup and seeing all the new strips that are out there. So, John, the referee has come out with the players for the second half, and we're about to start. And we are going to talk about Olympic mindset.
Yes.
Do you want to explain it very quickly, John, before I ask you some questions on it?
Yeah, sure. I'll keep it a little bit shorter, right? Because I don't think it's all. Let us know in the comments if you want to us to overextend on this later on. But of course, I'm in recovery. My arm's still healing, and what can you do more than analyzing? Like, I'm an analyst at the end of the day, so I've been watching a lot of Olympics. I've been reading up to Olympics, talking to some skaters from the Netherlands as well, by the way, who done terrific this year. Yep. So I can't really complain there either. And I was thinking, we are helping esports players, but not only esports players. I think 60% of what we do is we help just FIFA players, like players that, like you and me, that want to get better at FIFA. They can just book a session at futcoaching.com, and we help them. Usually we help them on 3 pillars. Those are mechanics, like which buttons do you press and when, tactics, why do you put over your fullback against certain tactics, etc., or mentality. I think mentality is one of the big ones, but it's hard to do over one session. So we usually do the mentality ones when we do programs with players. Like, hey, we have 8 weeks of training, and mentality is a big part of it, because I think that's important. And there were a couple of things that stood out to me when we were listening to the skaters, for example, or the interviews with things. And I was like, maybe we can work the Olympic mindset into the FC mindset. Mm-hmm. And I know it might not be for everyone, but what foot coaching, we over the last couple of weeks, that's why you had to wait until after the Olympics, because we were working on it so hard, is after the last couple of weeks, we've been fine-tuning like the 7 principles of an Olympic athlete. What should an Olympic athlete live by to perform? And how can we translate that into an FC player? Mm-hmm. And we made a slight difference between a pro player and a casual player. But generally speaking, we found that all the disciplines a pro athlete on the Olympics requires or does could benefit an FC player.
Right. Okay.
And that's basically what it is. So I'm not gonna maybe it's a good idea. I just tell you the 7 pillars. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those 7 points. And you can just ask questions instead of me just rambling on about it, because then this podcast will take another hour.
Okay.
Yeah, I love talking about it, but I think it's either in a separate show, but I don't want to we also have a promo, and it's just, it feels like I'm preaching for my own. Quite, if that makes sense.
I think, before you start, John, I just want to add this to people who think, we're pushing foot coaching here, because what I say to people is, this is my hobby. Yeah, this is what I do. If I played golf, I wouldn't think of anything of going and getting some golf lessons to get myself better. And this is what we try to do here at Fut and Review, is we try to help players, give them the understanding to make them better players. So if this is your hobby and this is something that you're interested in, and I'll give you the details after we talk about Olympic mindset, this is why we talk about this sort of thing. So John, I'll leave it up to you.
And I just wanted to say, I'm not here to sell coaching sessions. Of course, if you want, we're happy to do so. But we're talking about this on the podcast to make sure you can just get some takeaways from it, and maybe apply it yourself already. Yeah. I mean, go ahead, right? So the first one we've had is like what an Olympian athlete does is they have goal orientation and vision. So an Olympian focuses on the 4-year cycle, right? They want to get that gold medal, and they align the diet, their sleep, their social life to shave up milliseconds in those 50-second races. Sometimes they do. It's 4 years, they perform. That's the trick. That's what they do. But actually, if you align those goal orientation and visions to your FC training, it's not that much different, except, of course, the 4-year gap. We play in much shorter sequences. But you could focus on your next weekend league. You could focus on your next rival division, promote yourself. You can focus on tournaments. We've had a lot of players that focus on tournaments, the pro qualifiers, for example. And that's a good way. How can we make sure when the moment arrives, you're as well prepared as possible? So first one is always goal orientation and vision. Something we try to focus on. Second is probably, and if you have any questions, Chris, just shout, right? Mm-hmm. The second is really easy or simple. It's what we call the mental resilience. Like a pro athlete or an Olympian, it doesn't crumble after a false start. We've seen that skating, where sometimes they mess up the start but they still are able to win. Our Norwegian legend in skating, for example, we saw him fumble the start and just demolish the field still. They're that strong mentally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's millions of people watching. You got to be a little bit strong if you want to make sure you do that. But on FC, like the mental fortitude after a 90-minute bounce back goal against you or a city loss, what we say is we treat that as data, right? We look back, then instead of a reason for you to get tilted, or blame the game, we look at what could we learn about this, and is this actually in your fault or not? Mm. So mental resilience or anti-tilt, if you want to put it at FIFA, something we look at. Discipline and consistency is number 3. Really easy. This is about the lonely hours, Chris. It's like the hours on the pool where nobody's watching and you're trying to save off a millisecond to get the technique. But for the FC pro or the FC player that wants to get better, it's the invisible grind, what we like to call. And the invisible grind is like spending hours on hours trying to get your player log correct. I wouldn't say green time finishing, but that's gone. But that's definitely, you focus on one skill and you try to get that skill correct in everything you do. Mm-hmm. Even if it's a friendly match, if you want to practice your defense, that's where you focus on. Get that in. Keep going at it so it becomes consistent. So the discipline will lead into consistency. And that's easily trainable on every aspect. So.
Can I just ask you then, John? So
sure.
It's very interesting, that one about discipline and learning. The invisible grind, I think you described it to me, the lonely hours in the pool before the race, you're just pushing your body. But I can understand it from a physical point of view. I'm training to do something. I can understand the physicality. When I play FC, I just want to play the game. How do you get the mindset of saying, right, in this game, I'm only going to focus on this? How do you do that?
Well, it's not only focusing on it. Mm-hmm. But make sure it's focused on, I should say.
So, sorry. Okay, so
So let's say you take one thing you want to practice on. And the thing I've been really seeing a lot lately is defense. People being very aggressive defense, but then again, also just dragging the fullbacks out of position, just leaving gaps all over the place, right? So whatever happens, we say to players, we'll come back later to that, like whatever happens, if you lose the ball, what you do is you make sure you select the right player according to some rules we set up.
Right.
And you walk back with that player and you hold your line. That's all you need to focus on. So you can play your whole game, but wherever you lose the ball in midfield, this is what you should do. Go. If you play swaps, if you play rivals, if you play squad battles, it doesn't matter. If you play friendlies, whatever you do, whenever this moment happens, this is what we want you to train on.
Right. So
that's it.
Yeah, so it's not actually completely changing the way you play the game then. You're just focusing on that small part to make the game better for you.
Yes, until you mastered it and it becomes part of your system. So it's the first the discipline. That's why I call it discipline and consistency. It's discipline to work on it. Mm-hmm. Not the results that matters, but the discipline. Afterwards, you master it yourself and it gets consistent.
Right. Okay.
It's just part of your game.
Mm-hmm. I understand that.
Number 4, which was, is the continuous self-improvement, right? Mm-hmm. I like to put this in the podcast as well. We had some episodes where the audio wasn't on par. I didn't have a studio to work on, but we've made many steps to ensure that stays on. Every day we take 1% extra, for example. But if you look at an Olympian, they analyze everything, Chris. Biomechanics with sensors and coaches to optimize like every stride or stroke they make, right? In FC, just act as a learning machine. Like you analyze the meta, which formations work. And I think it's important, like after every patch, what changes, for example. Also, we're practicing a lot of manual defense patterns to stay ahead of the curve. And it's definitely something we can go into. But continuous self-improvement, like think by yourself, okay, I won Division 1, whatever. I had a trainee this week and he's actually paying us. So I didn't pay him to say anything like this. He played seasons only, like the regular season, right? Mm-hmm. But he won a tournament locally and he wants to get even better. He started to play foot this week. So he took all those basics he's been learning in seasons with us. And he's currently, within 1 week of playing, he's now in Division 3 of foot. Mm-hmm. Like smooth sailing all the way to Div 3 already. And I'm sure he'll make Division 1.
Mm-hmm.
And he still sends in sessions like, maybe can you watch what I could do different? Can you watch if I do this properly? If you are consistently working on things, you take one thing and get better at it, those results will come as well. But the mindset of continuous improvement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Making sure you walk up the hill instead of falling back from the hill. That's the mindset I think the Olympians share can share with foot players.
Mm-hmm. No,
and everyone can do that as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of saying after a match, "Oh, I was unlucky," or "He has a better team," just think do two things. First, what did you do well? Just say it out loud. Oh, I did score 3 times. So that's cool. The second thing, what can I try to do differently next match? What should I try to do better?
Mm.
Don't say I suck at this, because then you'll make you feel sucking at this, right? Say, next match, I will try to defend better because I did make 2 mistakes stepping in for it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the only mindset you need. And you can share that with an Olympian sport. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Uh-huh.
Number 5, keep it easy, but that's balance and recovery. Olympians know that, and we've had skaters say this as well. Like, what have you been doing today? Well, I've been in bed all day resting, and I've been watching some television and watching some Netflix. And then they go into the arena and they do a really easy warming up, and then they start hyping themselves up. Then they do the 1,000 meters and they're done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But afterwards, Chris, they don't go party right away. They go rest.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said this before in FIFA, like, understanding that like grinding the game for 16 hours will lead to diminishing returns, right? I think if you take regular breaks, even like eye health, you're watching a monitor all day, right? It's also good to walk outside and watch some long distance during the thing, but make it a part of your routine playing the game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And again, everyone can do that. So it sounds really silly, but I play 3 matches. I stand up, get a drink, walk downstairs, get a drink, walk back up, stretch a little bit. 5 minutes later, I'm playing again. It's just 5 minutes, but it could be enough for you to keep yourself sane. And we've been playing tournaments, Chris, in Crete, for example, where we play, how long? 10 hours, 12-hour tournament days?
Sometimes do, yeah.
Right? We started, maybe it is like some last time, I think it was 10 hours or something. You get tired. It's hard to keep focus, but you're just playing a video game.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, what are we doing? We are recording shows. We are walking around. We are talking to people. We like meet and greets, you name it, right? If we would take breaks, regular breaks in between, those 10 hours wouldn't feel like 10 hours. And a pro athlete does it. So what reason do we have to say we should grind?
Yeah, no, definitely, John.
Number 6 and 7, I'll keep this one close. But number 6, I know it's going to be very unpopular, but that's the open mindset. Something we've been trying to get through. But any Olympian, Chris, and you've seen this a lot with techniques changing, is willing to change a lifelong technique. For example, like a high jump style or a way of skating, or using a different skate or a different bobsleigh, actually. We've seen this here. If the science proves that there's more an efficient way to win, they will change it. Even if they're not very used to it, even if they're not very fond of it. But if an FC player, and generally speaking, I'm not saying everyone, but if they nerf playstyles, we throw in the towel or we get sick of it because we have to change everything we do. We can also go with the flow and see, let's see this as I see it as a fresh breath of air in the game. And I might not agree with it, but if that makes me be better again or changing the adaptability, I think it's important. And it's just keeping an open mindset. You can't change the fact they changed that.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you can change is how you look at it or how you deal with it.
No, of course, John. Yeah, understand that.
Number 7, what we call, and this is a little bit bloated maybe, but we call it extreme responsibility. Olympians, like they don't blame the wind, they don't blame the track surface. They focus on how they can perform better under those specific circumstances, right? We've had ski jumpers who had to wait 4 hours because there was a snowstorm.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting up there. You're looking downstairs. You can't see You can't see the bottom of the slope, and you know you're next somewhere between now and who knows, right? None of them complained, Chris. None of them, because one, they were all dealing with it, and two, one of them said, and we saw it with skating as well, I know my tricks. I know what I have to do. I know my drill. I know my routine. And I did all of this. And if it wasn't good enough, not much I could change about it right now. And sure, the wind is against me. Sucks. But hey, can't change the wind.
And is that sort of like blaming scripting then, John?
Exactly. Yeah, sorry, mate. That's why I said this might be controversial. But like, just replace the word scripting or with input analysis. Look what you're doing, right? They focus on factors which are in your control. That's what I want to teach people. That's what I'm doing, but what we've been trying to teach people, and especially me focusing on the last couple of weeks. What was in your control to change? Sure, he bounced back from the post, scored a 94-minute header, which sucks, and it was a bounce back, and it was a bug, whatever. Sure. What could you do about it? Can't do anything about it? Then please don't be down about it, because you can't do anything about it. It sucks, happened, go again. What could you do about it? Maybe hold your shielding button while trying to get that header away. Oh yeah, damn, we forgot about that. Mm-hmm. Okay, next match, we'll do that. We'll focus on that. Go again, and you'll be better. If you keep looking at what's in your control, and that's why I call it extreme responsibility, always think, what could we do better? What could I do better? What could I change? I think it gets more acceptable, but also it's get easier to be better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And one that's not in here, but I want to say, generally speaking, with trying to get better at a game or trying to be better at the Olympics, like results matter, Chris, right? On the Olympics, you want to get that gold, silver, or bronze medal. Sure, right? But the Netherlands bobsleigh team has no chance of winning a medal, normally speaking, right? They still come. They come because they want to get the best out of themselves.
Yeah.
They know how they performed. They've done all these 7 steps. They want to go out there and see how good they've become. Right? Maybe it's 6th, maybe it's 9th, maybe it's 5th. You don't know. But it could be that you get a medal because everyone else failed that day because they didn't look at it. Right? All I'm trying to say is that if you are on the road of improving, results aren't leading or proving that you're improving. If that makes sense. Results are secondary to your tasks. You do these 7 things. You do your programs. You do everything you are able to do in those. And then those results will come. If the results aren't coming, and I saw two Dutch skaters, Leerdam and Femke Kok said, like, one of them got silver, the other one got gold. They're both really, really extremely good. And both, they said, well, on the one instance, one got gold and the other got silver and the other way around. And they both said, well, I done my program. I did everything I did. I made the times we agreed on, but the other one was faster. It sucks, but hey, silver was the maximum here today, and I can't blame anything to myself. The day afterwards, they turned around. The other one got gold because then that day that happened for her. The results don't show you how much you've improved. The results will come eventually when you have that peak moment. But if you're focusing on something new, change, skill, move, whatever, and you won't win the first match, it's okay. Keep doing, keep following the program, trust the system, trust the flow, and those will come.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely, John. I mean, it's consistency, isn't it? You know, eventually, as you say, that if you are consistent with your improvement, eventually you'll find those improvements coming along.
Yeah, I mean, we see Formula One drivers that drive 10 laps in a row with exactly the same time, like in milliseconds difference. That can only come if you trust yourself and follow your process. If you get guided by anyone else during that or focus on something else, that's not not possible. And eventually that will lead for you winning a race.
No, definitely. And John, look, let's be honest, if people want to learn about Olympic mindset and get better at the game, where can they go?
Well, obviously you can go to futcoaching.com or keep following this podcast and just ask questions to the community. And I'm always willing to answer, help people with this, of course. But it's easy. It wasn't hard to translate it to from Olympic mindset to the game. Mm-hmm. it was quite hard making those into programs which we can actually teach people afterwards. But the good thing about me being injured or in recovery is that I've got way more time on my hands to actually focus on these things and help other people play. And so far, I have to say, again, preaching for my own choir here, but we've seen some pretty cool results from people that keep committing to it. And I think you don't have to especially buy a session for these or buy programs to do this. Keep those 7 points, like put them on a note and put it next to your PlayStation. And if you're feeling down, look at those 7 points and think, maybe I wasn't taking extreme responsibility here. Mm-hmm. Or, hey, maybe I don't actually have an open mindset because I keep seeing Mbappe and that keeps tilting me. And that might help.
No, excellent, John. Always, mate. Always excellent to have these segments in the show. But unfortunately, we've reached injury time and the referee is about to blow for full time. So, John, that was excellent. It's always great, as I say, to have you back on. I assume that you're not currently playing at the moment. So what's the plans for this weekend?
Well, not much, not playing much, no. So yeah, I'm still all band-aid up and stuff. I can play about 2-3 games and that's it. Mm-hmm. I do try to transfer the Olympic mindset into those games. So I'm going out really hard on those, but it's only rivals. Yeah. And I'm giving myself some challenges, like trying some new formations, for example. I want to get the 3-back work in. So that's what I'm focusing on now. This weekend is going to be the first weekend where it's actually going to be sunny weather again after this hellish winter we've actually had. So I've been just, I need to go outside, catch some sun, I think, because I definitely need some. And we're finishing the studio. So hopefully we'll be ready for that video tour soon. What about you?
Me, I am starting cycling season, so like you, the weather is starting to turn, so I'm going to go out on the bike tour and I'm going to take my Olympic mindset with me when I'm doing a bit of training. I've got a few events lined up, one in about 10 days' time, so I am going to take that mindset and try and improve on my cycling, I'll be honest with you.
That's awesome, though.
You know, but John, we've reached the end of the show. It's been great to have you back, mate. I have missed doing these shows with you. It's been too long, and I'm sure you remember what to do, but there is only one thing left to do, and that is
it's time to drop it.
Drop it.
Drop it.
F-U. F-U. F-F-F.